grand adulation he deserves. It's like unconquered territory. On August 9th, 1986, Freddie Mercury stepped onto the stage for one last time. His medical doctor had warned him no longer to perform. His voice became failing, and within the crowd, a fan's existence would quit at some stage in Who Wants to Live Forever. But what took place next stunned everybody. From John Deacon's violent outburst to Mercury's mysterious disappearance after the show, today we display what without a doubt took place at some point of Queen's very last live performance. Freddie Mercury changed into Born on September 5th, 1946, in Zanzibar, a small island that became part of a British protectorate. His dad and mom had been Parsi and followed the Zoroastrian religion, which is one of the oldest religions in the global. Freddie's birth changed into unique in many approaches. He changed into Born with 4 more enamel, and later in existence, he believed this gave him a completely unique vocal range that helped him sing in 4 octaves. He grew up surrounded through African, Arab, and Indian cultures, which inspired his fashion and music later. When Freddie becomes 17, his existence changed completely. The Zanzibar Revolution in 1964 had become dangerous for families like his, and they had to break out. Thousands of people were killed, so his own family fled to England. But before that, Freddie spent his early years in India. At just 8 years vintage, his dad and mom dispatched him to a British fashion boarding school, referred to as St. Peter's in Panchgani. This faculty, close to Mumbai, had become a crucial vicinity for Freddie. It changed into there that he first commenced calling himself Freddie, and it's also in which his love for tunes started out. A trainer noticed his skills and informed his mother and father to pay extra for music instructions. This turned out to be a life-converting selection. At school, Freddie formed his first band, the Hectics, with 4 buddies. They played rock and roll songs by using famous artists like Cliff Richard and Little Richard. Freddie became only 12, however, he already showed he had a natural gift for tune. He also loved Bollywood singers like Lata Mangeshkar, whose soaring voice stimulated his Destiny performances. Even at that younger age, Freddie began blending Western and Indian influences, something that later made Queen's tunes stand out. When Freddie's own family moved to England, they settled in a small residence in Feltham, near London. Life wasn't clean before everything, however, Freddie was determined to observe his goals. He joined Isleworth Polytechnic in 1964 to observe art, and later went to Ealing Art College. At Ealing, Freddie became professional in photo design, and he would later use those talents to create Queen's well-known logo. To aid himself, Freddie labored extraordinary jobs, such as washing dishes at Heathrow Airport. While at Ealing, Freddie met Tim Staffel, who became in a band known as Smile with guitarist Brian May and drummer Roger Taylor. Freddie became friends with them and often gave thoughts about their performances. In 1970, when Tim left Smile, Freddie joined the band as their new singer. He cautioned they named the band Queen because it sounded grand and effective. Their first live performance as Queen changed into in June 1970 at a charity occasion. The band nonetheless wanted a bassist, and after trying out a few people, they located John Deacon in 1971. Around this time, Freddie additionally determined to change his final name to Mercury. He were given the idea from a line in a tune he wrote, Mother Mercury, appearance, what they have accomplished to me. Queen wasn't an immediate hit. Their first album got here out in 1973, however failed to even make it at the charts inside the UK and barely hit quantity 83 within the US. Their second album, Queen II, launched in 1974, failed to do a good deal better. Its simplest reached number 49 in the UK. The band become getting pissed off, however, their 0.33 album, Sheer Heart Attack, ultimately changed everything. It had Killer Queen, a song that had become their big ruin. It hit number inside the UK and made it to range 12 in the US. Freddie Mercury wrote Killer Queen one night time while sitting at his piano. He came up with the phrases first, which turned into unusual for him for the reason that he commonly started out with the music. The song told the story of an elegant excessive society prostitute. What made it stand out wasn't simply the tale, however, the sound. Brian May performed an outstanding guitar solo using a sixpence coin as a select, and they brought layers of sound with exclusive production techniques. The track made Queen famous, however, it also caused a chunk of a combat within the band. Roger Taylor involved that its mild, playful sound might make people think Queen wasn't a severe rock band. In fact, Killer Queen almost failed to make it on the album. It was recorded remaining, and there has been a large debate about whether to include it. Then got here Bohemian Rhapsody. This track, released in 1975 as part of a night on the opera, made Queen superstars. It wasn't smooth to make. It took 3 weeks to record, had 180 special overdubs, and valued £40 to supply, making it the most highly priced song ever on the time. The tune becomes strange and exclusive. It had 3 distinct parts: a gradual emotional starting, an opera-like center, and a noisy rock finish. EMI executives didn't consider it work. The concept it turned into way too lengthy and asked the band to cut it down for radio. The band refused. Their supervisor secretly gave the track to a popular DJ, Kenny Everett. He played it 14 times in one weekend, and fans loved it. The track crowned the UK charts for 9 weeks immediately. It had become even greater famous in 1991 after Freddie Mercury exceeded away, staying at primary for another 5 weeks. In the USA, it wasn't as huge, first of all, attaining wide variety 9 in 1976. After getting use within the movie Wayne's World, it climbed to range 2. It went directly to promote hundreds of thousands of copies and became one of the satisfactory promoting singles in UK history. Queen also modified the song online game. The video for Bohemian Rhapsody became filmed in only 4 hours and cost PS4,500. Despite being easy, it turned into groundbreaking. The well-known shot of the band's 4 faces in a prison form created the use of a trick known as visual remarks. It had become iconic and made tune films a key part of selling songs. Later, Queen kept making memorable films. In I Want to Break Free, the band wearing girls' clothes, inspired by way of the British cleaning soap opera Coronation Street, it changed into humorous and bold, but MTV banned it in the US. Meanwhile, Radio Gaga became one of the maximum high-priced videos of its time, costing $100. It featured scenes from the movie Metropolis, and Queen paid $100,000 just to apply the ones clipped. Queen's stage shows have been as stunning as their motion pictures. In 1975, all through their A Night at the Opera excursion, they used a huge custom light setup with 168 lights and 12 aircraft touchdown lights. It became so huge it wanted its personal generator and took hours to installation. By 1986, at their famous Wembley concerts, their lighting rig had grown to over 1,000 lighting fixtures, consisting of a big crown-shaped body weighing 5 lots. Freddie Mercury's stage presence also advanced through the years. When Queen started, Freddie became shy and frequently stayed at the back of his piano at some stage in performances. The iconic mic stand he used without the bottom half virtually took place by way of accident. One night time, the mic stand broke at some point of an overall performance, but Freddie discovered he appreciated the liberty it gave him and fixed with it. Over time, his fashion had become greater flamboyant. In 1973, he started painting his nails black, stimulated with the aid of Jimi Hendrix, and began sporting dramatic glam rock clothes designed by using Zandra Rhodes. In 1976, he wore his famous Harlequin jumpsuit, a tight gown that had to be sewn onto him earlier than each display. By the 1980s, Freddie converted again. He grew a thick mustache and adopted a greater macho look, with leather-based pants and navy Machin jackets. This alternate becomes stimulated with the aid of the homosexual membership scene in New York. He nevertheless kept his playful electricity. In the I Want to Break Free video he regarded in drag, however, along with his mustache intact, which stressed a few humans and stirred up controversy. Freddie's level antics have become wilder as time went on. During the Hot Space Tour in 1982, he commenced riding at the shoulders of a group member dressed as Darth Vader at the same time as singing "We Will Rock You." In Japan, he as soon as stripped down to just a pair of shorts in the course of a concert, shedding his gown piece via piece as the display went on. Freddie's air of secrecy and ambitious fashion made every overall performance unforgettable. Freddie Mercury and Queen went through a variety of modifications inside the 80s. In 1981, the band attempted a brand new sound with their album Hot Space. Freddie and John Deacon desired to experiment with disco and funk tune, but many fanatics failed to adore it. The music Body Language got here out in 1982 and precipitated even extra controversy. Its lyrics and music video were too formidable for the time and MTV banned it. This disappointed fans, however, Freddie started exploring new ideas in music. In 1985, Freddie launched his first solo album, Mr. Bad Guy. He labored on it for 2 years in Munich, listening to every little element. The album changed into complete of dance track and synthesizers, displaying Freddie's creative facet. He even committed it to his cats, writing, "This album is for my cat Jerry, additionally Tom, Oscar, and Tiffany, and all the cat fanatics in the universe. Screw anyone else." It reached the top 10 in the UK but failed to do nicely within the US. Still, it gave Freddie the self-belief to do greater. Later, in 1987, he labored with opera singer Montserrat Caballé at the album Barcelona. The title tune mixed opera and rock. Effective Freddie's voice was. The tune have become the anthem for the 1992 Olympics in Barcelona. But regrettably, Freddie did not stay to see it achieved. At the same time, Queen changed into struggling as a band. After Hot Space came out, they went on tour, but by way of the end of 1982, they decided to take a break. The band wasn't getting alongside. Brian May later admitted, "We hated every different for a while." Things were given worse at the same time as recording their 1984 album, The Works. Brian got so frustrated that he left the studio and spent hours in a park considering quitting. John Deacon unexpectedly left for Bali without telling absolutely everyone, which taken aback everybody. When Freddie heard approximately, he jokingly sang Bali High from South Pacific. There turned into also Hassle Out of Doors, the band. In 1984, Queen executed in Sun City, South Africa, at some stage in apartheid. Many people had been indignant because the U.S.A